All right, you in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. We got AI in the building. What's going on?
What's
I'm
up?
I'm good.
Flavor Fest 2021.
Man.
Now, I don't know if Ryan knows this. I talked to you earlier. My daughter calls her at least once a month on my
This is
iPad.
facts.
Really?
Once a month,
FaceTime.
she's the first contact in my phone, in my iPad, and
Yep,
she'll hit
I
it.
know now.
And she'll
So
be like,
now-
Sean,
See
did
your
you
name,
did
I
you
know
just
it
call me
is.
So
again?
how old is your daughter now?
5.
Oh yeah, it'd be hard. It'd be a rough play date for them.
How old is she again?
2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be like
She'd be like
looking at each other. Yeah.
My daughter would.
Do you like PJ Masks?
ultimately-
Do you like Paw Patrol?
like a baby doll. And my daughter's like, okay, it's time.
She's probably the
I'm
same
good at that
size as your daughter. My daughter is
Yeah.
tall.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
She is. She
Mhm.
is.
Word.
Yeah, we need to hook that up. Next time you come, I'll show you.
I got a
They're probably
5-year-old.
like this.
Daughter.
So you know what the 5-year-old lifestyle is.
Oh, yeah.
A daughter too?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
What's she talking about?
She was crying on FaceTime today. Like, I just want to see you. I want to be in the hotel too.
My goodness.
Yeah. 'Cause we went to the beach over the summer and it was like, hotel? It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, I remember being that little and thinking about things like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. A hotel on an
Yeah.
airplane. I wanna do it.
Exactly.
So AI, you just came off stage.
I did.
How was it
did.
today? How's Flavor Fest?
You know what? It's been really, really great. I've been enjoying myself a lot. I think the first thing I want to say is that the hospitality that I've received so far has been really great,
Amazing.
which I think is important to note because, you know, you just never know what you're going to walk into. You have to have, grit in any space, but I do want to shout out the hospitality and the communication level, letting people, that stuff is important.
It's been amazing. It's been
So
amazing.
I've definitely enjoyed that, aside from the fact that it's just an amazing opportunity for artists and people to network and being able to see everything come together and just the different opportunities. It's been dope. I'm enjoying myself. The artists are dope. The set is dope. It's constantly moving. There's no, them awkward moments of like, okay, who's supposed to be on stage?
Yeah.
It's dope.
And you actually taught a session as well. Can you
I
tell me?
did.
Cause I really, really wanted to go to it because I'm a camera nerd. So tell them like what your session was about and how it went.
Yeah, well, my session was geared towards teens, so it kind of been awkward.
I
if
would
you-
know.
you-
I would've been right up in the
like,
front.
Hey,
I've been
the
like-
tallest one there. I should do it like an adult session for photography, but through my business, Get Focused Productions, it's all about capturing stories and teaching young people, young adults, different company heads about the importance of utilizing that skill so that you can communicate what it is that you're trying to communicate to your audience. But today, what I did was I worked with it was like 15 students in there. It was dope. It was packed in there. And so students were able to utilize our cameras. We have like a class size of cameras, a class size of iPads. And they were able to learn the basics of the camera, the parts, and then the elements of photography. So a couple of the elements,
That's dope.
That's
walked
valuable.
around, took pictures, threw them on the iPad, and then we didn't get to editing. Time
Yeah.
was short, but we would have took that next step of editing on the iPads. It was fire.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It's funny because so many people have testimonies from being at Flavor Fest. Even us, we got our big start here where people started to ask what do track stars do, and we heard last night in the general session, Pastor Tommy was talking about a young man who came out to Flavor Fest, performed for an artist, and got signed. That artist was KB. And so I'm guessing that people, the young teens that were in your class today, are going to go on and do great things,
Fire.
and we credit God and your talent and the fact that you were available to them today to that success. So that's great. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's exciting.
really cool.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
It gave me some goosebumps thinking about that. Yeah, that's 15 lives.
Oh, yeah.
Seeds that were planted. I don't know what's going to happen from there, which is why everyone must go all in with all that they have.
Yeah.
Because you just never know what you have, your testimony, your skills, talents, or whatever the case is. You never know what it can do for people.
Yeah. Think about who helped you multiply.
Exactly.
And then the people that you're going to multiply from that
Exactly.
seed that was planted. So, yeah, that's dope.
Yep.
So we talked to you a lot about music, but I want to know your inspirations as far as your film production side. Is there anything that inspired you there to want to get involved in that aspect?
I'd say Spike Lee.
Mm.
Spike Lee, Christopher Nolan.
Very good.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
There's a couple of others that off the top of my head. Those are the ones off the top of my head. Spike Lee for sure, because like just he's black. It comes from, the hood, if you will. And I can't remember, but I don't think he was like really trained, like, technically. He just did something he loved to do, and he utilized low budgets. It's like low budget film, but because he had he's a good storyteller, and he did whatever he had to do to tell the story.
Yeah.
What I learned from him, even though like he was never in the room with me, just watching his movies like Crooklyn was like a lot for me.
Family favorite.
It was amazing to me. But his ability to tell a story with a low budget and just being able to get everybody together to work at their 100%, like that's fire to me. So that was inspirational to me.
And credit to him for going to HBCU as well, and not having the resources that a lot of these other film directors.
And he has a very unique style. Like it's obvious that he's doing his thing. Yeah. He's not trying to do somebody else's thing. So
Right. Like you just know, when I see like Crooklyn, I forget what he calls it, but just that, like, I call it like
signature.
Signature style. But you see it there, you see it in Malcolm X, you see it in Inside Man. It's just like
the walkway, like the glide.
Yeah, man, it's so dope. Like I would love for when people look at my work, it's like it's that signature Itina.
This must be an AI video.
Yeah. It's just dope. I love everything. Some things I don't like, but for the most part, I just like his style. He's just himself. His glasses. I met him once. He came to Buffalo State, and he's just not trying to be anything else but himself. It's just him, straight up.
So what would you tell a young artist, and I guess what did you tell them in your session, to how to develop a unique style? Because it's a lot easier to just see something you like. I want to be like Drake, so let me find a Drake style beat, rap over Drake style stuff. How do you cultivate a unique style? How are you brave enough to be yourself?
Yeah, so this is gonna be a long one. You ready? I tell stories. So first and foremost, whenever I start a workshop, I start with some sort of icebreaker, and I just throw out the information and I see what students are gonna do. So the icebreaker today was that they had to work together and empty their pockets, empty their book bags or whatever of these different items. And all together, collectively, they had to get as many letters of the alphabet as possible. So whether you have an iPhone, that's an I. Unless you want to call it just a phone, now that's a P. Can't repeat letters or anything. I told them that they only had a certain amount of time, and that it had to be in their pockets or inside of a bag. And so they worked together to figure it out. And what's interesting to me, you give a group of students, young people, these instructions and you watch them. Prior to this activity, you know how it is. Everybody's sitting still. They're quiet. Some of them on their phones. It's cool. It's about to go down, though. So I say, okay, everybody ready? And before I start, I'm like, there's one goal. The goal is to get as many letters as possible. You have to get to that goal. So y'all are a team now. Immediately, when I say go, the atmosphere is changed because it's like, oh, I gotta do something, and I have to kind of push myself. And you watch all of these students kind of pushing themselves. The ones that were quiet and on their phones, they're like, that's a B, that's a C, that's a D. Oh, man. Oh. And then you start to see these skill sets develop. This one young lady pulled out her notebook. It's like, okay, everybody, we have to actually organize these letters. I'm like, you're an organizer. And then another young lady put out a toenail clipper. It was like, why do you have that? But okay, that's a T. And then somebody cracked a joke like, why do you have a toenail clipper? But the laughter and all of this is showcasing to them that they have all unique styles. They don't know it yet. So when that time ends and we look at all of the pieces in the middle of the floor and we start to go through it, I let them know of the skill sets that they have.
Wow, that's valuable.
Like, you notice how you got your notebook out? That's organization. You know how you pulled that out? That's, you're being what's the word I'm looking for?
Conditioned?
No, not conditioned, but just I can't think of the word. Like you think beyond, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Like you had the toenail clipper. Hey, it is, or whatever you have. You're prepared.
Yeah.
Is what I was gonna say. I was
Okay.
like, girl, listen, I need you in my group if we are lost in the woods, because you must have anything if you
that
got
bad.
that. But just being able to showcase to them their skill sets that they don't necessarily understand yet. The young lady, she may not have understood. Oh, I have an organizational mind.
Yeah.
It's just a knack. Immediately you went to that.
Yeah.
And so
Order
showcasing,
from
exactly.
chaos, yeah.
So that's my long story of, like, that's how I go about it. I try to think about what I need them to understand, and then I use my creative problem solving and process and my ability and education from, the work I put in at Buffalo State and, getting these degrees to really think about, all right, in what ways, what can I do? What activities can I get these students involved in order for them to see themselves? They'll have fun. They'll be engaged, but then I get to really teach. All of that is just tools.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you these tools. You're having fun, you're talking, you're laughing, but then let me tell you actually what's happening internally. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my process.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what is happening internally in you? Are you a problem solver at nature? What would you
think
call
so.
yourself?
I am an ideator and a creative problem solver. I'm able to, like, I love puzzles. I began to, when I took the time to really think about self and understand self, I love puzzles. I love to try to figure things out. I'm a pianist too, and I learned by ear. So I love to tinker and figure things out. I used to take, when you start thinking about your childhood and really thinking, like, what did I like to do? I used to take apart radios to try to put them back together. You remember those pins?
Yeah.
And you unscrew the pins, like, okay, let's
the
put it back
spring
together.
and
Just all that stuff was just interesting to me. And so I'm the type that can see a problem and, okay, I understand that there's like 5-6 different ways we can solve this. Let's try this way. Okay, that's not looking like it's working. No one knows it's not working yet, but I can see that this is not going to work. Let me try to come up with a different way to look at it. So I know I'm good at that. I'm a beast at that. And then coming up with ideas. That's just who I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome to know it, and it's awesome to know it that confidently. And that's what a lot of kids need. They need to know it and be confident, because some people don't like the gift they were given. They don't want to be an administrator. They don't want to be, the evangelist. They don't want to be whatever, and they wish they were a different thing. And to know it and to grasp it and say, okay, this is my thing, and to run with it it just gives you so much power.
I think sometimes it's like people don't understand the vast levels of opportunity within a skill set, though. You may be, for example, I'm very introverted. People might not know that.
Yep.
Maybe if you really, are around me, you'll realize, like, yeah, you're super introverted. I have to step outside of my shell for a purpose, and I do that. I understand that, though. Some people may be very introverted, but they're very good leaders.
Yep.
And they have a strong voice, but maybe their positions may need to be different. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of an example. Like, for example, I did that same activity with a couple of students in this apprenticeship that I'm running right now in my city. Same activity, different kind of situation. I split the group in two, and I said, this team is against this team. And each team, the goal is to get as many letters of the alphabet as possible. You only have this much time, and go for it. You start to see different people do different things. The end result was that I asked the group, I said, who thought of saying to me, how come we can't just all come together and we'll have a lot more letters? 2 young ladies raised their hand. And I said, why didn't you speak up? It's like, well, you gave us the rules. I said, okay, I understand that, but you had a better idea. You could be 2 different teams, but you could be one team. What's wrong with that? You could have proposed to me like, hey, can we just be one team and see how many letters we can get and how fast it can go? And they just did not think like that was okay.
Yeah.
Get to the point. These two young ladies were on opposite teams. The issue was that internally they were nervous to be able to stand up to say, what about this? Because young people, you know what I'm saying? They're not taught. And I had to let them know, like, sometimes you're not taught to say, I think this is a better idea, having a good tact and tone. This is a better idea. Can we do it this way?
Yeah.
We only got 2 minutes. Can we have 3? Like, ask the question.
Yeah.
You know, so in certain positions, you know, different thing. I got off the tangent.
No, that's good.
Wow.
Because you said something. This is the last thing I want to ask you is, for the introverts out there, because I'm an introvert as well, and a lot of people ask me, how are you able to, if you're an introvert and you're shy and all those things, how are you able to do the show? How are you able to get on stage? How are you able to switch? And I know a lot of introverts who don't feel they can do that when it's called upon. They're supposed to be a leader. They're supposed to be this and that, but they don't feel like they can. What would you say to somebody like that? How do you turn it on? And even in this interview, you sound completely extroverted. Like I wouldn't be able to tell, right? But what does it mean for you to be introverted, and how do you turn it on when you need it?
Well, a couple of things. So, one, when I'm talking about things that I really care about and I understand the purpose of it, like me sharing these kind of lessons or how I go about certain things, I understand the end result. I feel like there's a weight, and there's pros and cons to the weight. I understand that I have I have a choice, to be clear, but I choose to give. It is what it is. I choose to give it all that I have. I understand self. I understand why I'm here and why I exist. So I have to fight against certain things that may get in the way. One of the things for me is I had to understand, why was I introverted to begin with? Why am I that way? Then I started understanding childhood trauma is the reason why I feel like I want to keep to myself. I don't want to talk much. I don't want that barrier on me. I don't want it. I don't think it's necessary, and it doesn't help the purpose of why I'm here. So I have to understand the triggers. You know what I mean? So when I get around big crowds, I start to feel like, I just want to sit in the back and not be around anybody. I don't want anybody to recognize me. That's really tough now. Yeah. They can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. And
so
here I come with, hey,
right,
I'm
man,
like, I messed up your little space.
For me, I understand the end goal.
Yeah.
The end goal for me is, like, you know where I came from?
Yeah.
I come from a space in which, you know, it didn't look like I was going to become anything. But here I am, by the grace of God. So it is my duty to do whatever I need to do to push through any barriers so that I can help whoever may be listening or watching this. Yeah. Somebody may be sitting on an immense level of talent. Yeah. Because they're too afraid. And they fear vulnerability, or they have trust issues, or, you know, relationships didn't work out, so they've closed themselves up. Like, no, you have a purpose. You have to do what it is you have to do in order to get to where you have to get to. Yeah,
no, you said it right. You have to.
There's no other option for me.
That's good, AI. Thank you, man. Can you tell people how to find you, what you're doing next, all the support? Because I'm sure somebody's like, yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah, no doubt. So AI the Anomaly on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. And then I also like to say, like, my home is aitheanomaly.com, where you can get funneled everywhere else. What I have in upcoming is more so, more so like the artistic side, the company side. So I'm a co-curator, and I'm so excited about it. So I feel a burp coming on. I'm like, stop it. Don't do it. It's not the right place. And keep that in there, too. Don't cut that. That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Because people going like, yeah, I felt like that before. So I'm a co-curator with the International Art Institute. Like, dude,
That's
like
amazing.
that's crazy.
That's amazing.
Ain't that crazy? Man,
That
yo,
is.
don't even get me started.
Yeah.
So I'm working with 2 other curators,
Okay.
and we're creating like from concept to creation. We have put together a roster of all Black artists. This is kind of never before done in this particular institute.
Okay.
So we're collecting these different art pieces from these artists, had to reach out to them, interview them, and things like that. And we're going to put together this exhibit called In These Truths. Believe I might be saying the title wrong, and excuse me for saying it wrong. But it's kind of jumping off of the idea of James Baldwin.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, it's going to be so dope. And I'm so
That's
blessed to be part of the
cool.
process. So that's
That's
2022. So
Okay.
that's an exciting thing
Yeah.
that's happening. And then music-wise, y'all better get ready.
Yeah.
Because me and Selah done
Uh-oh.
got together and
Yeah.
created something that's pretty fire.
Oh.
And I don't even say stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, I can
I'm
tell you're
very
telling the truth.
confident about it. It's just, you know, straight hip hop, rap, boom bap, lyrical. The sound is great. Actually, it's a 3 artist thing. It's myself, Selah, and then my engineer, Carolina Blue.
Okay.
Okay.
And so if you heard Soul's Acrylic and some of those beats,
Yeah.
you know where I'm coming from.
That's dope.
Oh my God, it's gonna be beautiful.
Okay.
We don't have a date yet though.
Cool.
Make sure you
cool,
tell us.
cool.
I'm gonna let y'all
Cool.
know for sure.
Before you go, I want to ask you this.
Hmm.
Are you confident in saying that your bills are going all the way this year?
You know what? I don't do things like that.
Yeah.
Nah. Because I'm gonna hate myself so I don't wanna say I'm gonna hate myself. I'm gonna be so upset
Yeah.
if we don't make it. Then I'm gonna be like, dang,
It's looking good,
I
though.
should have said something else.
It's looking good.
It's looking really good. I'm proud of my bills. So proud of my bills, man.
Yeah.
Beyond proud, man. You see them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You see
yeah. Yeah.
Every Sunday. I mean, we messed up that first game,
Mm-hmm.
but we've been kicking it. Yo, don't even get me started. Why do y'all do this?
Because the last interview we did with you, I brought it up again. Like
Yeah.
it was the reaction that you had when you all made it to the AFC Championship. When I saw that on
I'm so
Instagram,
excited.
and then we asked you like, how did you feel? You know,
Man,
when it
felt
didn't
great. Did y'all
didn't work
see how
out.
we smacked?
Yeah. But this year, y'all's road, the road that you didn't get past last time is looking a whole lot easier to get
It's
through.
looking like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't say too much.
Okay, we're done.
Just let's be
Hey,
careful.
hi.
Let's
And
be
we're
careful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us again. Great to see you.
Yeah.
We smacked Texas.
Unifair with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous,
And?
Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah.
And
Who?
the Dolphins.
You proud of that one?
We
We out.
sent them back to the ocean, like I said.
She's still talking trash.